Tony, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today in a very busy time of year, in amongst meetings here at Craven Cottage. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you, James?
Very good, thank you. Yeah. It would be amiss of me not to mention the World Cup, and I know the club and you want to give a shout out to the 6 Fulham players representing their respective nations at the World Cup. Timo Castagne for Belgium, Luc de Fougerolles for Canada, Anthony Robinson for the United States of America, Sander Berg and Oscar Bob for Norway, and Issa Diop for Morocco. I mean, it's a fine showing, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. We're thrilled to have 6 current Fulham players participating in the World Cup, and some of them off to a great start, and some of them are about to kick off. And of course, we're excited to have Josh King training with England. I think that's so fantastic to have our young players, some of them in the squad and some of them training with the top squads at this time of the year. So to have Josh working with England, and I think that's really great for Fulham too. And very excited for what so many of our current players are doing. You mentioned all 6 of them. And it's great to see Luke playing for Canada as a young player, Issa doing very well for Morocco. And of course, as an American and as a big fan of Jedi, very excited for what Jedi's doing with the United States. Of course, he's been looking fantastic. I'm very excited for Norway to kick off soon with 2 of our players, with Oscar and Sander. And for Sander and Oscar, I'm very thrilled for both of them. And of course, Timo kicking off soon with Belgium as well. So wishing the best of luck to all 6 of them. I'll be going over to see some of them soon and watch their matches. We have some former players and players that have been with us in recent seasons and many seasons. Of course, Raul Jimenez has been such a class professional, and I know how much it means to him to play for Mexico and to score his first goal in the World Cup for Mexico after being their top scorer in international competitions among all the current players for Mexico. He was such a great player for us here, and I'm happy for Raul. And another former Fulham player who was with us for such a long time. I know this is really important to Tim Ream. To see Tim Ream and Jedi working together again in the USA team, it's very nice. And I know this was such a big career goal for Tim Ream to participate as part of this World Cup. So I'm happy to see him, and I saw Mika celebrating with Ivory Coast. Very nice to have 6 current Fulham players in the World Cup, but also a number of people that have been with us over the years contributing.
Definitely suggestive of a family club environment, the fact that we still look at these players with such fondness and pride and seeing what they're doing for their national teams.
Absolutely, and it's also really important, as you've said, to track the World Cup with 6 of our current players in the squad, but also a number of players that could be prospective targets, and a lot of people that are going to be involved in the market in this window and future windows.
Taking things back to Fulham, it's a few weeks now we're removed from the end of the Premier League season. I suppose the sentiment around being disappointed of not making Europe is one way of looking at it, but in reality, it's a hugely successful season, isn't it?
I think it's been a great season in so many ways, and it's also very representative of the progress that the club made with Marco as a great manager, and Marco's coaching helped us get to so many great results. And over the years, we've had some close calls, but certainly I think to finish 10th, 13th, 11th, and 11th over the past 4 years in what has been such a competitive Premier League has been a great achievement by these players and Marco. And they've gotten great support here. We've had fantastic results here in Craven Cottage, where we are right now. But I also think that it's something we can aspire to. You mentioned being close to Europe. We've had some very close chances, and I think if we can continue to get strong results here at Craven Cottage and also improve our away results and work together to do that, then I do believe that is something we can achieve. But it's also very important to realize that we want to be sustainable and strong in the Premier League. We've got a great base, and I think that in the future we'll always look back that the 4 years under Marco in the Premier League of his 5-year tenure with us are going to be the beginning of what we hope will be a very long and ambitious and exciting run in the Premier League.
I suppose you've just touched on it there, but I suppose the question is, what's the next step in Fulham's evolution?
Well, obviously, it's very important to look to the next step being, I think we have to bring in a new coach, and it's something that we are working on, and we've been actively talking and working to find somebody to come in because, as I've said, really the expectation here for a while has been that Marco was going to stay. It's been less than 2 weeks now since we found out that Marco had changed his mind and really had indicated he wanted to stay and was planning to, but we also understand why. But I'm very positive for the future.
There's a lot of names been mentioned in the press. How is the managerial search going?
Well, there's been a lot of names mentioned in the press, and it's interesting because it's going very well, and there's been a few great conversations in particular, and we've got a few people that the board is talking to that are very exciting and interesting candidates. I have seen a lot of the press. There's been people we've been linked to where it says that they were the front runner, or there was conversations that are people we've never talked to or never even had a conversation about. So that I think is interesting because there's several candidates that I've seen that were people we had talks with, that meetings about, that never did we even talk about, let alone meet with. So in the press, there's been some rumors, but at the same time, we have had lots of conversations, lots of meetings. We've been actively talking. Now, there's agents we've communicated with. We knew the availability of people. People have expressed interest. But as far as formal interviews and meetings, that has been a process that has taken up a lot of the last few weeks. And we've had some really exciting conversations with people that I think are good candidates to come in. They have different qualities, but also a lot of common ground and common positives because they're all people that we think can come in and be successful at Fulham.
I suppose when a manager's been at a club for 5 years, like Marco was, I mean, the vacuum that's left means there needs to be time that's spent into this replacement, right? I mean, it needs to be diligent in terms of its approach.
100%. It definitely needs to be diligent. And as I've said, we're casting a wider net. When Marco was appointed, he was the person we were locked in on, and Marco wanted to come to Fulham. Our initial conversations were so good, and I had a one-man list, and we would have gone in and had more conversations, but the first one with Marco went so well. He was the first person I wanted to talk to, and it turned out he was the only person I talked to in the summer of 2021. And now here, 5 years later, we're talking to lots of people, and we've had several conversations that have been really good, but in particular, there have been two candidates that have met with the board several times, and we have a few candidates that we've had good conversations with, but we're continuing to have extended conversations with a few candidates, and two in particular that have had multiple meetings now with the board that we really like, and we're open to more conversations and talking to more people, and we're working on that process right now, but we do have a few candidates that are really interesting for the job, and we're continuing to work through that right now, and keeping certainly our minds open.
Busy time of year also in terms of recruitment, in addition to the search for a manager. How are things progressing in terms of identifying targets and establishing which way we want to proceed?
They're going very well. I think in terms of the team, we absolutely have a lot of work to do, and we have definitely made some communications with potential managers that we want to work with you, and I think it's very important to make the hire for who's going to be the head coach before we figure out who comes in for potential transfers. At the same time, it's important in parallel to talk with these candidates about their expectations and what we think of the squad and what they think of the squad, and then take their feedback and their ideas and then incorporate that into the window. So we are doing that and working on that right now, and it's going to be a very important summer for the club. So we will be working towards that and trying to work in parallel paths, working on players right now as we work on this coaching identification, and then immediately we'll have to work to get players in as we get the coach in, which is a very important part of it. We're very fortunate to have a lot of great leaders in this squad and a very strong dressing room, and a squad that's been together with a lot of continuity in recent years, and we do want to continue that and keep some continuity. It's very important. We have a great group of players, and we're very proud of what they've achieved, and that's going to continue. And I think that they can continue to do what they've been doing, which is be a sustainable, strong, very good Premier League team. We want to continue doing that, and we aspire to do more as well.
After, well, we're almost coming up to a decade of you in the position of Director of Football here at Fulham Football Club. How do you look back at your time here at Fulham and your journey so far? Are there any unfinished objectives left to be ticked off?
Well, I certainly think that the past 5 years have been what we all aspired towards. We're moving in that direction. And we have had much more positive results in recent years. I think it's also important to bring somebody in that's very positive around every aspect of the club, because you want somebody that's very good on the pitch and very good with the players, but also that's very good with everybody, the supporters, and everybody that works at the club. And that's important too. So we're looking for somebody that can come in and keep the strong foundation we built at the club together. And I think that right now we feel very good about how it's going. We want to stay moving in that good direction and build on what we've done here.
Be remiss of me not to mention where we're sitting here. Fulham Pier has been a part of this successful season here. It's a wonderful addition to the club, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. This is so beautiful, and it is a wonderful addition. There's so much great tradition at Craven Cottage. We're sitting here at Fulham Pier, but there are so many beautiful places we could be within Craven Cottage, and that's what makes this such an amazing place. To have the splendor of the Thames behind us, and to be here on the river, and to have the pier and all of the great additions to the riverside. It's beautiful, and the juxtaposition to have the splendor and the magic of the cottage end, and to be able to go there and to have something that is such a great tradition and a structure that goes back so far, and great memories that go back many, many lifetimes. This is such a wonderful place, and we've had very good results here as a Premier League football club, playing in the most competitive, strong league in the world. And I hope that we can continue to keep strong results here, and also if we can get great support away from the cottage too. I think that's very important, because that's where we do have room to improve. I think we've been very strong at the cottage, and I want to continue it. And again, hopefully we can build on that foundation, continue to be very strong here in this wonderful place, and also get good away results.
Thank you very much, Tony, for your time today and being so candid in your answers, and hopefully catch up at the end of the summer.
Thank you very much. Good to see you, James, and I really appreciate you spending the time with me here at the cottage today.